Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Good morning. I hope you had a wonderful, restful sleep last night. They've been showing on TV, y'all, that during the pandemic, that people been having all these crazy dreams and these weird dreams. So they're just saying that it's like anxiety and you go to bed with stuff on your mind. So I just thought I would throw that in there. Hope you had a restful, peaceful night's sleep. Now, I have crazy dreams, but I was having them before the pandemic, so I don't know. Now, I've been reading Genesis chapter 1, Genesis chapter 2, chapter 3. Now we on chapter 4. Today is going to be interesting, y'all. We got to dig deep into this one now. It's getting good already. Mind you, this is Genesis chapter 4 now, just the fourth chapter of the Bible. So imagine what the rest of it going to be like. Let's get into it now. This scripture reading is a little bit long, but that's okay. It's going to be so interesting. You're going to want to stay tuned. And you got to stay tuned for it because you got to hear what's going to happen at the end that don't even make sense. Okay? All right, let's go. Okay, so now, let me backtrack. Adam and Eve had been driven out of the let me read the last verse of the last chapter. So he drove out the man, and he placed cherubim at the east of the Garden of Eden, and a flaming sword which turned every way to guard the way to the tree of life. So Adam and Eve had been driven out because they, did not resist the serpent's temptation and ate of the the tree of life. Now it's getting serious. From the title of the video, let's get into it. And like I said, stay tuned for the end of this reading because you're not going to believe what happened. Chapter 4 of Genesis. Now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have acquired a man from the Lord. Then she bore again, this time, his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to the Lord. Abel also brought of the first fruit of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. And the Lord respected Abel and his offering, but he did not respect Cain and his offering. And Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. So the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry, and why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it. Now Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, where is Abel your brother? He said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. So now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you till the ground, it shall no longer yield its strength to you. A fugitive and a vagabond you shall be on the earth. And Cain said to the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Surely you have driven me out this day from the face of the ground. I shall be hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond on the earth, and it will happen that anyone who finds me will kill me. And the Lord said to him, therefore whoever kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark on Cain, lest anyone finding him should kill him. Then Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. To Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begot Mehuel, and Mehuel begot Methusiel, and Methusiel begot Lamech. Then Lamech took for himself two wives. Two wives. The name of one was Ada, and the name of the second was Zillah. And Ada bore Jabal. He was the father of those who dwell in tents and have livestock. His brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of those who play the harp and flute. And as for Zillah, she also bore Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every craftsman in bronze and iron, and the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. Then Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, wives of Lamech. Listen to my speech, for I have killed a man for wounding me, even a young man for hurting me. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, then Lamech 77-fold. And Adam knew his wife. We went back to Adam. And she bore a son and named him Seth. For God has appointed another seed for me instead of Abel, whom Cain killed. And as for Seth, to him also a son was born, and he named him Enosh. Then men began to call on the name of the Lord. Basically, with this scripture text in chapter 4, he got out there, killed his brother. Then he went on, and his children went on to live a life of sin too, because it says down here that he took his own son took 2 wives now, because God hadn't put no 2 wives, though. He gave Adam Eve only. That's why I say reading one chapter of the Bible will give you so many different things in just that one chapter. God gave Adam Eve 1 wife. They got in there, and after that sin, the sinners, brothers, hey, here it is. He went and got him 2 wives. So basically, the one that got up in there and killed his own brother, his son went on up in there and got himself 2 wives. So see, that sin be a trickle-down effect, like a family curse. Then he got out there, and this is what he said in his word. This is Lamech. Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, wives of Lamech. Listen to my speech, for I have killed a man for wounding me, even a young man for hurting me. Then he boasted about it. See, that's even worse. So he went on, and his daddy done killed somebody, so he killing somebody and boasting about it. Then he done took 2 wives, so that's, here we go. That one sin that started back there when that serpent tempted Eve, look what it has turned into. Then going back to Adam and Eve, let me read this verse to close it out. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son and named him Seth. For God has appointed another seed for me instead of Abel, who Cain killed. And as for Seth, to him also a son was born, and he named him Enosh. Then men began to call on the name of the Lord. And it's fixing to get real good, because once they had those 2 children, and then the one son went awry because of the offerings that the Lord accepted and did not accept for the other one. He killed his own brother. And y'all, I watched a movie on it. You know how we take things and put them in the modern day times. I watched a movie how they showed Cain and Abel out there, and they showed the one doing his work and the other doing his work. And the way he did him was real dirty. He went behind his back and took him out there in the field to do it now. Took him in the field and did it. Like basically set him up when he did it, which was even worse, And the Lord saw instantly what he had done and called him out on it too. And then he went on and had his own family. And look what his son doing too. He done got out there and murdered not 1, not 2, but several people, and then taking 2 wives. So you see how, I got to say this, that sin is an ugly thing. It starts with that temptation, and it follows up with that ugly sin. And then look what it do. It be generational curse. And then sometimes in modern day times, we be like, why is my family going through this? Why does this happen in my family? Why is this? I don't understand it. Because it's generational. It started right here in this Bible, and tell you. And that's why I'm doing this series on reading the Bible and getting to know everybody, because it don't just lead up into it. You know how you watch like a Lifetime movie? You sit there about 30 minutes and finally you be like, woo, now it's good. The Bible, honey, kicks it off from day 1. We're in chapter 4 now. And look what has already happened. I'm telling you, it's the best thing you want to read in this modern day times, because you can apply what's going on today to what happened back then. And you cannot say it is not interesting. And these are real people just like us today. This has just been documented for what happened back then. And it tells the history. Stay tuned. It's going to get better and better. And like I said, I'm not going to read every chapter verbatim, but I am bringing you from the beginning to seeing the other character, not characters, the other people of the Bible. And so we can connect and see, well, hey, I see why this is happening, and I see who this is in the Bible and what happened and why we go through things that we do today, because it was going on back then. All right, you guys, it's Wednesday. Are you hanging on during the pandemic? A lot of different changes. They're trying to pass some more stimuluses and stuff like that, but we got to stay prayed up, y'all. But one thing we can't give up. We cannot give up. We got to go forward. We got to call on God more. Just like it says here, then men began to call on the name of the Lord back then, because they knew it was negative stuff going on. We got to call on the name of the Lord, and we got to stay focused. We got to stay focused and keep our faith in the Lord and our trust and belief in the Lord. All right, it's only Wednesday and it's getting good in this Bible. Do something fun today, but still relax too. Stay tuned. Remember, tell God you love Him when you first wake up, and tell your family members and your friends too. Be blessed.